all of these animals we've been talking about are some of the more ancient or older examples of how we changed animals using selection. But selection isn't just a thing of the past, it still goes on today. In more recent times, scientists in Russia have used selection in order to change some foxes to be more friendly and not as afraid of people. Because of this, some people in Russia now have foxes as pets. This hasn't become popular in the United States yet, but maybe one day it will. One scientist has even come up with an idea for how to possibly create a pet dinosaur. His idea is to use chickens. Yes, chickens. No one's done this yet, but it might be possible to keep selecting chickens that have longer and longer tails and shorter wings. If that works, we would end up with an animal whose skeleton would go from looking like this is a normal chicken skeleton, to looking more like this. Now you've got to admit, that does kind of look like a mini T-Rex. In fact, the scientist calls his idea the Chickenosaurus. On the outside, it might look like this. So you can see it would still be a chicken, just a T-Rex like chicken, but without being huge and having ferocious teeth, which is definitely a plus. Maybe one day someone will create the Chickenosaurus, and so we'll have our first sort of pet dinosaurs. Now, while we're talking about animals that might be invented in the future, I have to tell you one more idea. A friend of mine has always wondered why we don't use selection on wild bears to create a breed of smaller, cuddly bears. Imagine that, real-life teddy bears. Now, this is just a teddy bear. No one has succeeded in selecting bears too much. It turns out they don't make good pets. But all of this is fun to think about. Now that you know selection makes it possible to slowly change how animals look over time, what's an animal or a trait you might like to see in the future?